Hi everyone, welcome to Gnan Cloud Garage. In this session, I'm going to talk about how to perform HPE Synergy firmware updates on Gen 10 or Gen 10 Plus and Gen 11 servers with the Synergy Service Pack, in short form SSP. Okay, so in our lab environment, for our testing purpose, I'm using one of the HPE Synergy frame and running with the Gen 10 servers. The same procedure applicable for generation 10 plus and generation 11 servers, and these servers can be run with any of the bare metal operating systems. Like in our lab, our bare metal node is running with a VMware ESXi 8 operating system. Even if the node is running with the other operating systems like Red Hat Enterprise Linux or any of the other flavor of operating systems, even though if Windows Server also, this firmware update procedure is same procedure. And another point is we have a HPE Proliant servers also. Proliant server looks like this, and this is a rack mount server. For rack mount server, the concept how we are doing Synergy Service Pack update, firmware update, the same procedure applicable for Proliant servers as well, but only difference is that ISO file is different. Normally for Synergy frame servers, we are using Synergy Service Pack, and for the Proliant servers, we are using SPP. SPP means Service Pack for Proliant servers. Okay, so the ISO pack is different, but the procedure to do the firmware update is similar to the rack mount servers as well as Synergy blade servers. Synergy is like a better blade servers. Okay. Now, let me explain you what are all the key steps to perform this Synergy firmware updates. And before jumping to the firmware update key steps, all these 8 steps, let's understand what is the importance of Synergy Service Pack. The HPE Synergy Service Pack is a comprehensive system software. Comprehensive system software means it's like a complete system software and firmware update solution delivered as a single ISO image. Same like how we have a ESX ISO image and Windows Server image, Red Hat Enterprise Linux image. Similarly, even this firmware pack also comes with a ISO image. This ISO image consists of complete system software binaries as well as all the Synergy component firmware updates. Okay, so to perform this firmware update, the first key step is download the latest HPE Synergy service pack. Either we can use SSP or SSP. There is a typo. Sorry for the typo. The letter we have to use, it's a SSP. Okay. So Synergy SSP Service Pack ISO from HPE website, and place the server into maintenance mode. Let's say within our Synergy frame, there are multiple blades. So for example, we are going to perform on one of the node. For that specific node, we need to place that node into the maintenance mode. If it is running with a different flavor of operating system, we have to do this firmware update activity only the non-business hours, because only during the planned downtime only we can perform. Reason is when we perform firmware update, it require a restart, so we cannot perform this activity during the production hours. Only the non-business hours only we can do. Okay, so the place the server into maintenance mode, and even if you are doing the monitoring, just place the server in the maintenance mode in the monitoring tool also, like say SolarWinds or vRealize Operations Manager. And then whatever the step one we talk about, download the ISO, the same ISO mount the ISO using ILO, integrated lights out. For Synergy frame, also we have a HP one view console. From the one view console, we can access ILO. Using ILO, we can mount the SSP ISO. Once we mount the ISO, just reboot the server. Reboot the server means, let's say, reboot the ESXi host. During the reboot, we have to press function 11, F11 key to boot with the SSP ISO. So while booting with the SSP ISO, there are it will start automatically boot with the service pack firmware update CD. And this firmware update have a two types of options. Either we can choose automatic mode or interactive mode. For example, if I select the automatic mode, means there will be no manual intervention. It will install all HPE Synergy component firmware updates, and all the information it will automatically perform in the backend. We just monitor the screen until it says finish. Okay. And only the another method is interactive mode. Interactive mode means when you select interactive mode, it's like a custom option, and it will list down all the Synergy firmware options, and any of the firmware specific component if you want to exclude, you can just exclude, and whatever the components you want to install now, you can select those components. Okay, that is only difference between automatic and interactive mode. So you can perform any of the option. Okay. And once we select the automatic or interactive, just to follow the on-screen instructions, and next finally we can, once we click finish for the firmware update, finally it require a reboot to apply the changes. So once reboot the server after firmware update, the service pack is comes with a latest version. Okay. So we're going to perform this lab. Okay. And these steps are common for Gen 10 servers, Gen 10 plus servers, and Gen 11 servers. Okay, now the latest generation is generation 11. Okay, so let me log into the lab system. So in our lab system, I already downloaded the copy. So with interest of our time, the download is available. The downloaded size file is approximately 7.13 GB. So with interest of our time, I already keep the download pack. If you see the download pack file name is showing as disk image file, and this is a SYR, that means Synergy pack of file only. Okay. So this download normally we'll get it from a HPE support, HPE tech support team will provide this downloader information. So using the downloader, using that link, we can download the specific SSP ISO. Okay. And in order to download also, we have to register the HP website to download. Same like VMware website, how while downloading ESX and vCenter, we have to register with one account, right? Same way, even for HP website, download with an account, register with an account, and then it will allow you to download the specific binaries. Okay. So download portion is completed. Even if you see the first step, download is already ready. Now, second point is place the server into maintenance mode. That means log into our vCenter server, and we can see we have within our cluster we have a two servers, ESX2 and ESX3. Let's say we are plan to do ESX3. I already migrated the VMs to the another host. Let's verify any other VMs. Currently no production VMs. So first you can just select the ESXi host, right click, maintenance mode, enter maintenance mode, so that even if there are any other VMs also, it will automatically migrate it to another ESXi host. Click on OK. So now click on OK. It will take a while to place the host into maintenance mode. Okay. Suppose it is a bare metal server, Linux or Windows servers, you can just perform the shutdown and also place the maintenance mode in a monitoring tool like SolarWinds or WhatsApp Gold, any of the other third-party monitoring tools. Okay, so currently this server maintenance mode is completed. Now, the third step is mount the ISO using ILO. So again, back to the console, and we have to log into the HPE Synergy. We can manage with one view. So once we log in with the one view console with the administrator ID, we are already maintenance mode for a ESXi 03. So go to the ESXi 03. So this is our Bay 3 running with ESXi 03. CSXi03 and lab.com server. Okay, so this server we can launch the ISO console. To launch the ISO console, go to the overview, and there is a ILO IP address. So select the ILO, it will open a ILO. Once the ILO console is launched, and from the ILO console, you can see currently the server is running with a ESX ISO. So to mount the ISO, just go to the we have to choose the virtual CD. So from the virtual CD only, we can mount the ISO. So let's look for a virtually mounting the ISO file. Yeah, if you select here, even from the remote console, there is an option for CD DVD, and you can choose local ISO file. When we select the local ISO file, our ISO file is this is the one, Synergy SSP. The name consists of SSP SY. That means Synergy Service Pack for Synergy, and this ISO is latest one 2023 file. Okay, so once we mount the ISO, make sure ISO is mounted successfully, and then we are good to reset the server. So go to the power reset. So once we reset, while rebooting the server, we have to press function 11 key. Just monitor the screen. There will be an option to see the F11 key, function 11. Okay, server getting to the BIOS. See, now we are good to press the F11 for boot menu. Okay, when we press F11, see the F11 button is highlighted. So just monitor and it will automatically change to the boot menu. So when it's go to the boot menu, we have to choose the ISO file so that it will start booting from our SSP ISO file, Synergy Service Pack ISO file. See, now it's going to boot. See, one time boot menu, we have to choose here. Currently we have to boot with the USB boot option, and you can select generic USB boot. See, it is showing us HPE Synergy Generation 10, and now we have to use save and quit. So that means it will try to boot from the ISO now. Okay, I think it's again booting to the ESX ISO. Let me reset one more time. And make sure ISO is still mounted. Maybe the boot menu, we have to point it to the accurate USB. Press F11. See, starting required device, please wait. This may take a few moments. Yeah, starting all devices for entering boot menu. Okay, now let's quick look. First option is VMware ESXi, and the second option Smart Array, CentOS, generic USB. Yeah, I think we have to choose this one, internal SD card, generic USB. Earlier by mistakenly I selected the generic USB. We'll choose this one. Okay, now save and quit. Oh, somehow it's booting with the same one. Let me, okay, we'll do one thing. We can just power off first, press and hold. Okay, completely server is going to power off. And CD DVD, let me eject and let me remount again. Local ISO file and Synergy file is mounted. Okay, now let's try momentary press. Press F11 to choose the boot menu. This time we'll look for a accurate CD DVD option instead of USB. Yeah, this one, virtual CD, sorry. So ILO virtual USB, ILO virtual CD-ROM. This is the correct option. Yeah. So as per our notes, if you see, we have a two options, automatic and interactive. So we'll go with the automatic option. Okay, see booting the automatic firmware update version Synergy 2023. So now we can just follow the on-screen instructions. If we back to the slide, see these steps are complete. First point completed, we downloaded, we placed the host into maintenance mode, we mount the ISO, rebooted the server. While reboot, we press the function 11, and here we have to choose the specific virtual CD option, and we selected the automatic mode. Now we can just follow the on-screen instruction. Usually this upgrade may take around 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Sometime it may take, based on our network and bandwidth speed, it may take 1 hour also. And after that, finally we can do the reboot option. Okay, so let's back and monitor the status. And during this firmware update, the server may got restarted couple of times. Okay, we have to wait until completely finish. Even if we minimize here, if you see here, our ILO 5 version is showing as 2020 version. During this firmware update, this version also from 2020, that means year 2020, it will update it to the current year 2023. Okay, because the specific Synergy service pack consists of one of the component is ILO firmware as well. And we'll monitor the screen for some time. If we minimize the screen, and we can see firmware update status from this ILO back tab also. So let me close this console, and if we go to the firmware and update OS, so here you can see here installation queue. So currently not yet added. Maybe it may take a while to detect all. So it may take some time to start the installation queue. Once it is completed, all these versions are updated to the latest version. For example, the year 2020 will change to the current year 2023. So we have to wait if it is providing any instruction on the screen. Just refreshing the page. Seems it is taking longer time than expected. So with interest of our time, I will stop recording here. But the procedure is, hope you got an idea how we can go with the firmware updates in the production environment. Okay. So that's it for today. I will just perform completely later. So with interest of our time, we are good to stop here. So thank you. If you're watching this video first time, please do view, like, share, and subscribe to the Gnan Cloud Garage channel. If you're already subscribed, I appreciate all your support. Bye for now.